Welcome back, one and all. Okay, this is 100 Divisions guy, and I want to do an update on our game. And so what I'm going to do is add a scoring factor. And because I think I can do this in a relatively short amount of time, I'm going to add two little features to this video as an aside. And the first one is sort of a review of the Git workflow. If you do everything right, what you want to do is when you begin work on your project, you want to do a git bash here. And you want to just make sure you do a status, git status, and it should say on branch master up to date with origin master. Now, if it doesn't, that means you forgot to commit your changes after working the last time, and that was bad of you. You should have done that. All right, but anyways, at this point, once you're there, you should try git pull origin master, and just make sure there's nothing there that you haven't got. And this is an important step because if you don't have that right, then that means you're going to have a disconnect between what you have and what's on the branch or on the master. Okay, so at this point now everything's up to date, and that's good. But we're ready to add a scoring feature, and so we're going to take Git to the next level. We're going to talk about branching. Technically speaking, we should have never just stayed on the master branch. We should have immediately checked out a new branch. So we're going to do that now. We're going to call this scoring. Okay, so I'm going to type git git checkout, excuse me. Checkout is how you check out a branch. -B means it's a new branch. And then we'll put on here scoring. Fatal. Oh, it already exists. Oh, because I created that before. Well, let's do this differently. I'll do a different one. We'll call it git checkout -B. We'll call it development. There we go. Now watch this. If I just type git branch, it'll tell me all the branches there are, and it tells me which one I'm on. So it says I'm on development, but there's also a master and a scoring branch. So I did have a scoring branch, but we're going to deal with development at this point. So there is nothing new. What we did is we just took whatever the master branch was and we moved it onto the development branch. Master's still there, but we have a new one, and we can proceed to work. So, we're going to now at this point do a little bit of work. So now let's talk about our object. We're going to create a new object. It's going to be an invisible object. It will manage score. So you're going to right click on objects, and you're going to choose create object, and then we're going to add object underscore score. So this is our scoring object. It does not have a sprite, but we're going to check persistent, and what that means is we're going to put it in the first room, but we want it to be in the next room as well at any future rooms. So persistent means you just drop it in the first room you want it to appear, and it will be there in the same spot from then on. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is that we want to add an event, and it's the create event. So the first time this object score appears, what we're going to do is we're going to basically set the score. And so what we want to do here is we're going to type score, and it should be set score. That says draw, so we go down to blue. The blue one is set score, so just drag it out. Okay, we're going to set score to 0. All right, that's how we want to start. We start with no points. Okay, so that's the first thing we want to do. And then we're going to want to draw the score. So we're going to add another event. And this may sound familiar because we've done this before. We're going to use the draw GUI. Draw GUI is to draw graphical user interfaces. So we're going to click that. So that's going to draw something. What do we want it to do? We want it to draw the score. So I'm going to type out draw. And there is draw self. And I'm pretty sure it's draw score. So we're looking for the draw score. There it is. Draw instance score. Draw the instance's score with the caption. We're going to move that over. So now we're going to set the X at 50 and the Y at 10. Excuse me. And by the way, we're not checking relative. Let's just go ahead and double check that. Let's go ahead and hide this. So move that over here and get that a little bit bigger so you can see that. All right. So we set the caption as score. It's going to show the score, its own score, at the position 50 pixels off from the left-hand side and 10 pixels down from the top, and X and Y of 50, 10. Okay, so that's going to draw there, and we're good to go. Let's just add this to our room. So I want to double-click on room main. I want to make sure instances layer is selected, and I'm just going to drag object score. Now remember there was no sprite, so if I click it, that's where it exists. It has a little question mark there. If you were able to zoom in, you'd see that. There it is. You can kind of see it there. Let's go ahead and test this out and make sure it works. So we're going to go to run, and we want to see the score. Now nothing's changing the score, but we do have it, and there it is. If you like that location, you can just keep it right there. So we have working code. We did a little bit of change. We're going to save our changes, and we're going to do what's called a micro commit. We're just going to commit what we just did. Okay, so that's just a git add dot. And it's git commit -m adding score object. And then there we go. So we got it committed. Okay, so we've committed our change. We're good to go. I could push it to the online repository just to be safe. So in that case, I would do a git push origin development. And what this is doing is it's pushing that new branch onto the repository. All right. So we go to the repository, we can go check it out and see if it's got it. So here's my repository. If I click on master, I can see there's the development branch. I click it and I click on commits, and now I can see the adding score object up there. Just ignore stuff you see down below because I've been playing around with that. So we're up to date on there. Let's go back. Now, let's see if we can update when we click the ducky, we want to add to the score. So we already have a click event on the ducky. That was the left pressed. So we're just going to modify that. I'm just going to go ahead and hide this. So now on the left press, what we want to do is we want to set score again. There it is, the blue one. We're going to do that before we destroy the instance. And we're going to, this time, let's just modify this. On the set score, we're going to change that to 10. We'll just go ahead and double click so we have it nice and big. Or not. Apparently it doesn't like that. Click relative, double check. It really doesn't want me to do this, does it? Okay. If I hide this, I can make it nice and big. Full screen. Oh, that's it. So here's the deal. Set score, score 10. Okay, but here's the problem. We need to set it on the object score because we need to affect its score. So now we're saying add 10 to score, and you can actually read it right here. Add 10 to score on object score. Okay? So now we've got that working. Let's see if it works. Let's go ahead and save our changes just to be safe. We're going to click play. By the way, if we save our changes and it's wrong, we can always reset to where we were. Click on a ducky, I got 10 points. All right, does it work? Let's try to get 2 duckies clicked. There are 2 right next to each other. And it says score of 20. Perfect. Okay, so we know that this is working correctly, so we already saved our changes. Let's go ahead and type git status. And we have it modified, so now we're going to do a git add dot, git commit -m. So now I add an add scoring functionality to duck clicks, and I hit enter. And there we go. All right, so development is good. I'm going to push those changes. Push origin, not master, this time development. Okay, we're pushing this branch to the origin. And I have to put my passphrase in. Okay, now, development is good. We want that in our master branch. So now I'm going to git checkout master. Check it out, master. There we go. Now we're going to do a git merge. Now what we're going to do is we're on master. We want to bring in those changes. Oh, by the way, before we do this, I think it's a good idea to just go ahead. Yeah, see that? It tends to do this when we're doing things like checking out branches. So I'm just going to go ahead and close it. Click OK. Not save any changes or anything. Now I'm going to do a git merge development. And what that says is take everything you've done on development and bring it into master. Hopefully there's no issues. And it doesn't say there's any conflicts. And that's because I did everything properly. If you do it all properly, should work okay. Now, I'm going to type a git status, and it should have nothing to commit, but it does say I'm ahead by 2 commits. So now I'm going to push those changes, push origin master. So now I'm pushing the master branch through. See if that works. Now let's take a look. We'll hit refresh. And now in our branches, check this out. So now we have the adding scoring functionality. It is currently on the master branch, but if I click master, I see it there. And if I click on development, I see it there also. Okay, so everything is all working good. Let's test it out one more time. So we're going to open it up and run it one last time just to make sure everything's okay. You do want to test it out even after a merge. In fact, that's the perfect time to test it out. I like closing it. I should still get that one message because I need to clean something out, but the rest of it is okay. Let's just go ahead and run it and just make sure everything's working. Oh, I didn't get to the third ducky on time. It's because I don't have my mouse. Okay, I said there was one more thing I was going to do, and I just want to talk about common mistakes, common problems my students are having. If my students are having this problem, you may be too. If you go to click on the screen and you run an error, it may be the following. When we were to do the crosshair click, let me show you. This is one that was the most common mistake my students did, and that is the global left pressed. On that one, we told it to create an instance, and we said object whole. Well, some of my students did not name their object whole. It was just like object 1 or object 2. And so creating an instance of a name that doesn't exist will cause an error. So the way to fix it is to keep this code exactly the same and rename the object to match. So that was the most common mistake. But I had another common mistake, and I had 2 students have the same problem, and that had to do with rooms. They went to run their room, and it was just blank. And I'll recreate it just to show you what happened. And so basically, what was happening is they were going to run it, and they saw the following. Basically, nothing. Okay? And they were like, why are we not seeing anything? And it turned out it's because they had created an extra room that they didn't need. So I'm just going to delete that room because we don't need that room. And now when we run it, we should have everything okay. So 2 common errors. A lot of people have this issue. Everything should be good. And so because I've been playing around with this, I just want to go back one last time and do a git status. When I had a little modification, it was because of some of the stuff I did. I do want to commit those changes. Actually, I think I can do git commit amend. I think this is right. Okay. Git status. Oh. All right. Git add dot git commit dash m adjusting crosshair. Git push origin master. Meter. 1, 2, 3. Doing up arrow until I get the right one. Everything is updates rejected. Tip of your current branch is behind its remote counterpart. Git pull origin master. Okay. Okay. What happened here? Let's run it, make sure everything's okay. Got a score, great. Sometimes that happens, weird things happen, okay? It's because I was messing around with stuff. I'm gonna do a git status. Nothing, git pull origin master. I do this as a double check. Should be like the last thing you do. Already up to date. So if it's already up to date, I don't need to push either. So now I can just exit. And the next time I get in, I'm ready to work, and I'm good to go. We got our scoring. In the next tutorial, we're gonna start adding timelines that will help determine when objects appear and set some of the game action, and we'll add some extra objects like the duck target and other items. So stay tuned for that tutorial. And thanks for watching.